Mm.
I think. Good evening, everyone, and
Right?
welcome to the Daily Whatever Show, the very first Daily Whatever at night. We think, Lawrence, right? It's been a year.
I can't remember us doing a nighttime show before, so I think we can say the first nighttime daily whatever show. Yes.
Yes, welcome, everyone. It is just 5 o'clock here on the West Coast, but we know it's 8 o'clock on the East Coast.
Also
So,
midnight. I feel like I should be in bed at this point.
well, there are some people
I keep
who
London time. I'm very cosmopolitan.
ooh la la. That's kind of true for you, isn't it? I just keep all the times and I don't sleep. So whenever you need, but I do feel like I have a slight competitive advantage, Lawrence, because every morning at 7 a.m. when we go live, I'm like still like half like dragging the cobwebs off. So I feel a little sharper. Also, I have natural daylight on my face. So I kind of
That's
feel like
true.
a supermodel. There are not very many reasons why we would have a second daily whatever show in one
Yes,
day.
my lord, Dana, what are we doing here in the middle of the night?
We have a very special guest joining us. It is Jane Pratt. Jane Pratt, who founded both Sassy and Jane magazine and XO Jane, and has had an immense impact on an entire generation, um, mostly of girls and young women, but also, as Lawrence pointed out,
Hello.
to men.
Yeah.
So Jane and I, just for a little backstory, when I saw that she had launched another Jane Pratt thing on Substack, I was like, I'm going to shoot my shot because I do this sometimes. And I just sent her a mail. Hi, big fan. Would love to have you on my show. And she wrote me right back and was like, yes, I'd love to. Here's my email address. And we have been playing email tag for like months and months and months. So this is the culmination of all that. And we are thrilled to have her today. We also have two very special guest hosts who will be joining us a little later in the show. Stephanie Drury from Stuff Christian Culture Likes and Liz Riley Tollefson, my co-founder at Three Imaginary Girls, my music website. Kira's going to, of course, show off because she knows we're live. But without further ado, Lawrence,
Let's bring Jane onto the screen. Hello, Jane.
Jane, I cannot believe we're actually making this
I'm
happen.
so excited this is finally happening too.
Me
Time.
too. It has been a very long time coming, but well worth the wait. Jane, I did here, I'm readjusting my screen now that there's three of us.
Yep.
I did a bit of an intro here.
And
Yep.
you've got the sassy shirt on, Jane.
I
That's
did wear.
amazing.
As I told you, I was naked about 5 minutes ago, so I just grabbed. I said, "Let me grab something," and it was my sassy shirt. Yeah,
Perfect.
Oh my God, I need one of those shirts.
you do need one. You really need one.
I really,
I'll hook
really
you
need
up.
one of those shirts. Okay. Oh
And
my
Lawrence, you
gosh.
too.
Jane, first of all, if there is anyone here in the live, which I need to go join the live so I can say hello to everybody. Jane, and I need to mute myself so I don't hear the double volume. If there is anyone here in this chat who somehow doesn't know who you are, and if there's anything I missed in the intro, would you like to tell the audience at home who you are?
Oh, geez.
Right? No pressure.
My. I would say I'm a girl from North Carolina
Okay.
who grew up um, feeling generally okay about myself until I was like 11 or 12. And then things
Yeah.
went way south.
Mm.
And
Yes.
I ended up being a complete um, loser, isolated, feeling like there was no one that understood me at the age of 15. And I had this idea that I could do something in magazine form that could make other girls going through that. At the time, it was girls I thought of. Now it's less gender based. I don't think that way so much anymore. But that could not make them not feel as alone
Right.
as I felt, and that became shortly after I graduated from college. Actually, that became Sassy Magazine. So that was my first thing. Yeah, and then after that, and that was just really, I was so lucky how quickly that came together. It was like I was so young that I thought I was 24 when it launched, and
Oh,
I thought that that's how the world worked. Like you had a good idea, People
Right.
money into your good idea. Like, then cut to when I wanted to start Jane magazine after that, and it was a much more arduous process. And then Exo Jane, same thing. And but I keep on going now with another JanePrattThing.com.
I
Keeping
love
on
it.
doing the
That's
same.
amazing. I love the idea that you were just like, yeah, I've got a great idea. I'm moving to New York and I'm starting a magazine.
100%.
Right?
And it actually happened.
Right,
That's the
right.
craziest part. Yeah.
I know. It's incredible. And each of the hosts who are here tonight, including the two who are still backstage, have some questions prepared for you. And we do want to jump into that, but I'm going to wait and let Stephanie ask her question about that. What I thought we might do for starters is Lawrence and I each have a sassy story or a Jane story. I bet just about everyone in the chat has,
I'm sure,
a story. And if you all would like to share them, we would love to see them. If you would all also click the heart, show some love that Jane Pratt is here, because this is not our usual time of broadcasting. I have no idea who's usually broadcasting at 8 p.m. Eastern, but if you send those hearts up, more people will find this live, is the hope. And also, just a good idea to share some love. Lawrence,
Any of that, by the way, I don't see the hearts or the chat or anything, so I'm just going to assume that tons of people are dying.
The hearts are flooding in now, and we have a ton of people in the chat. And to Dana's point, if you've got a sassy story or Jane or an Exo Jane's story, please put it in the chat. We will be sure to read it out loud.
Really want to hear them.
Yes, and if Substack, so this is a really annoying thing about Substack, is that when you post the recap, it does not share the live chat that's happening, which we really wish they would fix.
Which is
that.
the most fun.
Yes, because we have a very engaged chat. So if it doesn't crash, we will cut and paste it at the end, and we can just email you the full thread, and you can see what people were saying.
Good. Amazing.
Because we do love. We love to see that. Oh, Jennifer just said, I talked to Jane on her serious show. I was starstruck.
Oh my God.
So, that's so cool.
That's so cool.
We are going to get into that. I also put the link in the chat here where you can go buy yourself a sassy t-shirt, because they are on sale on Substack. And while people are all clamoring to go buy a sassy t-shirt,
they're really good.
Lawrence and I were talking in preparation for the show, and I was like, I don't know, Lawrence, you're a boy. Do you have a story about Sassy or Jane? And he was like, my God, do I ever. Lawrence, can you share this story? Because so Lawrence and I have known each other since the 4th grade. We go all the way back.
For literally forever.
And Lawrence, you have such a beautiful story to share. So I thought, if you're okay with it, you should go first.
Yeah, absolutely. So Jane, when I was 16, I got my first job at a Walden Books in the local mall. And the manager there was a guy named Dieter Murphy. He was the first openly gay man that I'd ever met. I am now an openly gay man, but at the time, it was kind of revolutionary that there was any kind of role model for me.
Yeah.
And when Dana was like, oh, I don't, you're a boy, do you have a sassy story? I was like, are you kidding me? The July 1988 issue. You know what I'm talking about immediately, right? In my mind, I remember it being a prom, but I don't think it was. I think it was just a dance. Yeah. And you featured 2 queer couples, a gay boy couple and a lesbian couple, and y'all were having a conversation with them. And I think the title was something like, "And they're gay," and it was basically like, no, you guys, here are 2 normal teenage couples at a dance.
Yeah.
They just happen to be gay.
Exactly. And the headline started, I'll just interrupt. The headline started with just some sort of mundane things that you could say about any couple. It was like, they make out, they fight sometimes, they go to the store, and they're gay. That was the exact idea.
And I remember reading that issue, hiding that I was reading it, right? Because I was not remotely out of the closet. And it, funny in retrospect, I didn't even really want my manager to know. In retrospect, I'm like, oh, of course he knew I was gay. But I read that issue from cover to cover, but that was the feature story. And I, picked it up because of that. And from that moment onward, I always had a soft spot in my heart for Sassy. I was like, somebody's making this magazine who sees all of us. And so it's just a real treat all these years later, 150 years later to have the chance to tell you you made me feel seen at the age of 18
Oh,
when I wasn't feeling that way by, literally anywhere else. That was the summer right before Dana and I went off to the University of Florida to go to college.
uh-huh,
I did not have a fun college experience, you
uh-huh, uh-huh.
guys.
He
It,
did sleep
it
with
was
at
not
least a couple of my college crushes, though, and didn't tell me until many years later.
only the one, Dana. But
Yeah.
Jane, thank you for that because it made a difference in my life to just be like, okay, cool. Like there are people out there who get it, you know?
That makes me so happy. That was, I mean, I get like a little like welling up feeling about it because that was exactly the idea. That was exactly the idea. And, even though like our circumstances were different, you were that 15-year-old that I was when I needed someone to see who I was and it wasn't being shown anywhere.
Yeah.
And I felt so isolated, more isolated because the media was showing only these other things that weren't me. And the fact that like I seriously I have like chills. The fact that that touched one person, you, in that way, hallelujah, that's it. That was the
Yeah.
whole idea.
And I didn't know this until I was actually kind of prepping for speaking with you tonight that you guys took a lot of flack for that, right?
That was the pivotal one. I'll tell you, in the very first issue of Sassy, I gave uh, birth control information, STD prevention. They did not like that already because
Yeah.
we were supposed to just preach abstinence and that was it. But I thought I was actually being kind of conservative because on the cover of that one, I said, so you think you're ready for sex? Read this first. I was like, that's pretty conservative. I would have, if I had, really gone for it, just been like, we know you're all having sex, so here you go.
Right.
But I thought, but so we already got flack for that. But when that gay teenager story came out, the issue exactly when you're talking about, that was when the Moral Majority, Jerry Falwell, all of those got together and started a campaign to get Sassy obliterated, basically. And they came close. They got us to lose. We lost huge amount of our advertisers, and we got taken off 70% of the newsstands. I mean, it was really.
I read that.
Yeah.
That's crazy. But you had such a devoted readership that you were still able to grow and kind of make it through.
Yes.
Yeah.
Those amazing readers just kept passing it around to each other and kept it going, and it still did keep growing. Yeah.
It's such an extraordinary story and such a hard one to explain. Like I have two teenagers, and they'd be like, everyone is gay. I'm like, no. In 1988, no one was writing like this.
Right.
Someone had to do it first. When Jill Solbiel died a couple years ago, I made them listen to "I Kissed a Girl" over. I always loved that song, and I played it a bunch of times. And I was like, you have to understand how no one wrote songs like this yet. That was the first time, or at least not in the top 40. You had to be listening to very alternative music. So you were even before that. You were a trailblazer. My Jane and Sassy story is not quite maybe to the level of Lawrence's, but I joke that I'm like, I feel like
competition, sweetie.
It's always a competition with you, Lawrence. No, I'm just kidding. I can't wait I wish we had time to read every one of these comments going by. There's so many people talking about.
See them.
Well, yes, you will. In fact, I'm going to just in case, I'm going to do a copy and paste of these now, because sometimes the browser crashes and then we lose everything. So I've got it all for later. But I read Sassy a little, but I joke that I'm like slightly older than who was reading Sassy, because it came more to my attention in South Florida, like right as I was finishing high school. And I was sort of graduating out of the teen magazines a bit. So I wasn't as immersed, but I was obsessed with Jane when Jane came out. And read it religiously. And I majored in, I always wanted to be a journalist, a writer, all the things. Won't go into my whole backstory, but ended up making some strange choices when I was younger that were a little fear-based and risk-averse, and went into speech pathology because that would be a stable career, and didn't think I didn't believe in my own stories. And then about 5 years after grad school and all that, because I needed a graduate degree, I was in my late 20s and my Saturn return, Lawrence remembers, and I spent a year crying, I think. I was just like, I don't want to do what I'm doing and I don't know what I want to do next. But what kind of came up out of the ashes of that was like, I want to do something like Jane Magazine, but out west. That was the only way I could articulate it, because it was the 90s and these channels didn't exist yet to do what I'm doing now. And it was just a few years later that I met Liz, who we're about to bring on the show, and we launched Three Imaginary Girls, which was an indie music, local music website that ended up growing this huge community and throwing all these events out in Seattle. And it was the start of me recognizing that I'm a weirdo, but the weirdo voices are the ones that need to be heard. And I swear that Sassy and Jane are the root of all of it. And that like little genesis of like, I see myself in what she's doing. And I feel like there could be another voice in here, many other voices. So when we launched Three Imaginary Girls, Liz and I had very quirky goals because we were doing it for fun, and we were like, we want to play Scrabble with Stephen Merritt of the Magnetic Fields one day. And we were trying to remember what they all were, but we had these funny goals. And one of them was, we want to be in Jane Magazine. And we were.
Yes.
We were. So,
I'm so smart, and of course.
I know. Lawrence, do you have the little screenshot that I had sent over?
Oh my gosh. Oh no, keep talking. I forgot to upload it. I'll go find it.
I want to see that. I haven't seen it since.
You know what? We don't. It's so funny. I asked Liz, like, do you know where the actual screen, the magazine is? And she's like, it would take me about 2 months to unearth it. It's somewhere in my basement, and I'm in the same situation. But she pulled together a zine for our 10th birthday party, I think, or 15th. We'll ask her when she comes on. And there's a screenshot of the cover, and it says, we were in Sassy Magazine, or in Jane Magazine. So Liz, we will talk about that more when we bring Liz on in a minute.
I got it, so I can put it on the screen.
Oh, yeah. Let me see.
From our zine.
We were in the February.
Yes.
Jane Magazine.
All imaginary staffers lose their sassy shit. That's so good.
You made our little zine. I believe it was about our 69 Love Songs tribute night, so it's indirectly with Stephen Merritt. But Liz is the keeper of.
Who's on that cover? I was trying to remember who that.
Yeah. Let me add it back to the stage.
Okay. Interesting. I can't even place. It's so weird that I remember all those cover lines, but I can't place who that is. Anyway,
I can't either. It's too small, so I'm not sure who that is.
I'm not sure either.
I bet Liz knows. Speaking of which, Lawrence, should we bring Stephanie Drury and Liz Riley Tollefson?
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Hello, ladies.
Hi.
So introducing to Jane and to the folks at home, Stephanie Drury, you are no stranger to the Daily Whatever Show. I think this is your third appearance.
Something like that.
You are the founder of Stuff Christian Culture Likes, as well as Steffi's Spirituality. Yes, your Substack name is Steffi's. Yeah. And also the person who defeated Mars Hill Church in Seattle.
Yes, that was, I want that on my tombstone because Jane, there was this mega church here in Seattle in the late 90s, and it started out seeming cool and kind of progressive, and then I happened to be in a group therapy session with women who attended this church, and they were in such bad shape. They were shaking, that they had homicidal ideation, suicidal ideation, and they said, I'm not supposed to be here at this secular counseling session because I go to this church that we had to sign a covenant saying we would not get outside counseling. And I'm just like, I just went insane. And so I looked up this pastor's name, Mark Driscoll. I started listening to all his sermons on my commute into work. Yeah. I have a desk job. I do medical coding at a trauma center. So I had this long commute, very like not creative job, but I feel like it fuels like my stuff outside of work. Yeah. So I would just, I started a parody account for Mark Driscoll called Fake Driscoll. As soon as I started it, within an hour, I don't know how his church found me. They emailed me. They go, you are allowed to have this parody account, but you have to make sure everyone knows that it's a parody. I go, it's called Fake Driscoll. I don't know what else you want from me. So anyway, like that got a lot of followers really quickly. And I was just trying to like protect the health information, the confidentiality of these women, and just get it out there that there's dangerous shit going on. I would say things in the Pastor Mark Driscoll's voice, things like, oh, it's my wife's weigh-in tomorrow, so we could use some prayer. I'd really, I'm feeling good about the numbers we're going to see on the scale, but like that's kind of literally stuff that would happen that people didn't know about. So I took a cue from Sassy.
You sure did. You sure did.
Yeah, just like not be afraid. Fuck you. You said not to, that I have to make sure that this is a parody account. I'm making that my bio. Marcel said to make sure this is a parody account. And a lot of people said thank you for helping me wake up to why I felt so bad going to that church. Yeah.
Wow.
She literally ran that church out of Seattle, ran Mark Driscoll out of Seattle. I mean,
he did have to step down eventually. Yeah. So that felt good.
Yes. Was that tiny violin? Yeah.
Oh,
that's what the kids do now.
It was
They're
my
like
ballroom snapping, like yes.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah, I got it.
I like tiny violin too. Tiny violin for Mark Driscoll.
Yeah, I'll also say that Stephanie is outdoing my Sassy shirt with what he is wearing.
Full magazine
I gotta
covers.
see it more.
Oh my God! Can you stand up for a second there?
Let me. I
Great.
need it better.
I'm gonna look at my monitor so I can see it better.
Oh no, sorry. I was.
I don't know how much you can see, but my friend had this made for me during the pandemic, and this is the best thing that happened to me in the entire 5 years of lockdown. So
amazing! Oh my God! All the best too. That is crazy. We should sell those.
I could send you a link.
That is crazy. So great.
Mm-hmm. That is absolutely incredible, Stephanie. Liz, I hate to have you following that shirt, but I know if anyone is up for it, it is Liz. Go for it. I know you also have a great story for Jane, so
I love it.
Get into it. Well, okay, my mind is blowing, but I would say like
me too.
I was a sassy disciple, like the good kind, following on Stephanie's theme. And it wasn't just like a magazine or it's not nostalgia. It's actually like paved the way for where I am now and the life I ended up building, because I never could have imagined the life I have now would have been possible had I not read Sassy magazine. Sassy, like, just like you were saying, I felt so alone and so isolated in a small town, in a small state, surrounded by like stodgy tradition and just folks that weren't curious, and anything that was out of the like norm was frowned upon and punished, really. And so seeing that it was possible, what was going on in New York City at the time, and like thinking beyond just myself and being encouraged to help others and change the world, and that I could change the world, just mind-blowing. So, but tangibly, the story that I'm going to tell is how so Sassy, the article that Christina Kelly wrote, I think in 1988, Recording Green, that article.
Wait, what was it? Which article?
It was Christina Kelly. She wrote the article about being in the studio with REM while they were recording Green.
Recording Green, yes.
I mean, yes. Music kid, like I decorated my bedroom to look like a record store, and I would just like hang out in the mall record stores, and I was kooky and weird in that way. Yeah. But then I had never heard of REM, and I was like, what is this? So I go to the mall, I buy the record, and it just changed my life. And so I became a super fan alongside of you, because I was like, Jane's a super fan. I'd like,
yeah.
Your enthusiasm is infectious. Like,
you texted with him 2 seconds ago.
Yeah, right. Like you're just like, oh, it's just so wonderful and so true and genuine and honest and palpable and inspiring. So anyway, so I became an REM super fan, and it ended up, that's how I got my first job at a record store, and that I had a college radio show that was called Gardening at Night. And
oh my God!
Ended up meeting all of my favorite people, because everyone I meet that I'm like, I love that person, they're an REM fan, and we connect about that.
You guys.
And it's just, and so then starting through Mentoring Growth. We could have done that without the REM link, but then the Sassy link in making it, giving me the confidence to even do that. And even the tone that we took of we are your friend who's going out.
Yes.
Like, the inclusivity of it all is something that you brought to the table, that there wasn't that inclusivity. There's like weirdos unite, you know, it was
Totally
just
made
like,
that up. I mean, that was not a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sassy did that, Jane did that, and it just sparked this whole new wave of awareness in me, in everyone. So it's, I think I'm just a subset of the story that everyone has, which is like,
Amazing.
It just inspired change, you know, through environmentalism, animal rights, women's rights. It was, I had never witnessed that before, and no other outlet had that. No other outlet was telling you, like, you can go change the world, you can go inspire this, you know, you can go talk to business owners and get them to do this, or you can go start a group and do that. It was for teens, for women, not out there. So,
right.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
Okay, I love that story so much. And when you said, the first time you said like that I made you feel like you could change, or Sassy made you feel like you could change the world, that was it. That was it. Like, I felt like these girls, like I felt like I knew each of you, and like you had it in you to change the world. And I just, all you needed was like someone to say, yes, you can. Yes, you absolutely can.
Yeah.
Here's my question also. Okay. So what was your take on, because I remember the story you're talking about when Christina went into the studio. And by the way, Christina and I are still very close. So yeah.
Love that.
She had that
love her.
Her princess column that she did, that I was a serious reader to, and she hadn't written in a while last time I checked. So I want more Christina writing. I want more Jade in my life. I want a lot more Christina.
We're coming with it.
I want it all. Yeah.
She's already written some for another JanePrattThing.com, and she's going to be writing more there. And we are very aligned and want to do more and more. Yes. Well, I say that. She'll be like, she's a little more. She's like maternal toward me. It's cute. You know, so
I love that.
But anyway, okay. So my question is, what was your take as a reader on what my relationship with Michael Stipe was, or with REM was? Because I know what it actually was and how we got into the studio and all that stuff. But I'm curious what you guys thought from your perspective, if you had any thoughts.
Yeah. Well, so I didn't, that wasn't a major component to the REM story in Sassy to me. Like, that was maybe like a sidebar piece of it. And also because maybe I just didn't glob onto that part and read that part on repeat. So everyone else should answer. But that was like a side note that of like, oh my gosh, of course. I mean, and honestly, as I was thinking about talking with you today, and I do now know, just because of social media and the way the world is, that you all are very close friends. And I just was like writing about how you inspired change. You allowed me to be weird. You allowed me to be loud and weird and out there and not isolated, and to assume the best in people and also bring out the best in people. And I was like, wait, that's what REM does. Like, that's what Michael Stipe did with his lyrics, with like Follow Me and like Exhuming McCarthy. And he inspired all that change. And I was like, and then I was like, I love the world that they found each other. I love they are best friends.
Us too. It's like amazing.
Yeah.
It's amazing. My brother always says that when we met, there must have been like, we must have touched a rock, or there must have been something, because we both just, it was like a moment. And then we both got to take off and do in different ways. I mean, he, of course, you know, extremely so, but got to do the work that we've done. And it's
It's a beautiful thing.
There is just amazing. Like, that fuel that drives both of you in parallel, but then you know, like in different directions, it's great. And then
and then the other part of it, sorry to cut you off, but I was thinking also, the other part of it is that we fueled each other. So I was inspired by what he was doing, and I think some likewise, you know. So we were both trying to, you know, put out the same messages, and that was, you know, so we kind of grew up together. I was 19 when I met him, so we definitely, like.
That's wild. Oh my gosh. Very tangential, but I just put this together in my head, Liz. The venue where the idea for Three Imaginary Girls, our music website, like sparked off, the venue where we hung out all the time, the Crocodile, owned by Peter Buck.
Yeah, I've been there.
Yeah.
I know, it's so funny too, because he always used to just hang out, and Seattleites are so cool. At least we were back then. They'd be like, "We all know that that's you, but we're not going to go talk to you because we don't want to like make a thing of it." So
Yeah.
We don't want to bug you. We're just going to let you stand there by yourself with no one
Right.
talking to you because we're sure that's what you want.
You're too cool. That's so cute. I love Peter too.
I just want to jump in and read a couple comments from
Please
the
do.
chat. So Jennifer HHJ says, "I hope Jane knows how many lives she's touched in such a positive way." And Karen jumps in, and Karen Marie Shelton, our moderator, jumps in and says, "Jane touched many girls and people who've had their lives changed." Liz Lapointe, our friend and fellow Gen Xer, says, "I collected my Sassy and Jane mags in memorabilia boxes and still have them. She just found the one with Kurt Cobain and Courtney Love on the cover from when he had pink hair."
I can see that one in my head. I wish I'd saved it.
It's also valuable on eBay, but don't sell it. But,
I bet it is. You should post a photo of that because she runs a publication called Gen Excellent. You should absolutely post that photo. I bet people will go crazy, Liz.
Oh, yeah.
So Liz Lapointe. Sorry, not Liz. Two Liz's.
These comments make that just like it. They're so moving to me. It's everything. Like the idea that you could help one person, like the idea that I could help you, Lawrence, or one person, is incredible. And then the idea that there are more of them that and people saying things like that. It's like, I'm getting all like flushed. People saying I changed the trajectory of their lives, and that
it's true.
Who gets to hear that? That is in
you do.
Right, you do right now. You've got 4 people right here who can testify.
Right,
and 100 more in the chat who are saying the exact same thing.
Amazing.
I want to hear your story too, Stephanie. I want to do a quick time check with Jane because I know you had said that you might have to drop early.
I turned my phone off, so I don't know if I'm getting those kind of, but I'm going to turn it on now. I also feel like, because you guys are so amazing, truly, for like doing this at this time and everything you're doing, I want to give you some scoops too. So before we go into something else, let me just say one thing. So do people know I dated Michael Stipe for many, many, many years?
I never knew that part. I always assumed,
that.
I was like, I don't think that they're dating. I think they're just, I thought about it a lot.
Friends.
Now we're great friends, and he has a wonderful life partner / husband / whatever who I love, and he's the godfather to my daughter, and you know what I mean. It's all like we're family. But
I didn't know that.
I just have to say it just because I think you guys deserve a little something extra.
Yeah. You just blew my mind. That is amazing.
Oh, y'all kept that secret.
Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah.
I'm gonna write about them. And the reason I asked Liz what she took from the, our coverage, I tried to make it seem like, we're just covering REM because they're so great, and they were so great. But I tried to keep myself and our connection kind of out of it.
Yeah.
I wondered.
I never picked up on that. Honestly, but I must say, I must admit that I am naive about a lot of stuff, and that helps. It also I miss a lot of clues. So I never picked up on that. It more seemed like a friendship, but it was during that time. So during Green. So that's
all during that time for many, 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 many years. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
My childhood, something just sort of rerouted.
I hope it's okay. I wouldn't screw anybody's, childhoods up in.
That's fantastic.
No, not at all. You just made it so much better.
Oh,
I absolutely love that. Oh my God, do you have more scoop?
Well, I need to talk about what's coming next.
About
about that.
Why I might have to.
But we should let
you guys do your thing. I want to hear everything and anything. Do what you want, and I'll answer anything. Yeah. And
I know Stephanie and Liz both had comments, but Jane, I just want to put it out there. We definitely want to hear about another Jane Pratt thing and what
Thank
you're doing
you.
now and what's coming up. So,
Thank
putting
you.
it out there that we want to hear your current and future stuff as
I
well.
really, really, really appreciate that. And I will say that what I do at another Jane Pratt thing.com is I feel like I've had one good idea my whole life that I got when I was 15, and I'm just doing it again and again and again. So this feels like the next iteration of what Sassy was and everything. And I'm so happy. It's really fun to have a place where people come that are new to it, but also where the old Sassy and Jane readers and stuff can gather, Exo Jane readers. It's amazing to have that. So
What a blessing. And I hope you have 4 cheerleaders here. Like if you need us for anything, we'll be the Scooby Squad who will come do whatever we can to help.
I appreciate that so much. And I do need it because we're really fledgling. Like we really are,
Yes.
Just barely getting going. So I do need it.
When I saw you were on Substack, like I said, all those months ago and first started writing to you, I was like, oh my God, Jane Pratt is on Substack. How has it been going? Like, I think we've both been here about a year, right? Like the Daily Whatever show just had our year birthday. You've been here a little over a year. Do I have my timing right?
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean,
how is it going? And like, what are, what are your goals? What are you hoping to do here on Substack?
Statement. I never had a mission statement for anything I ever did. I tried, but I could never come up with one sentence to describe like what Sassy was or anything. I always had to describe it in terms of what it wasn't, which is like the opposite of what you're supposed to do in any kind of marketing thing. But anyway, I love doing it because I'm so hands-on with it. I do it all myself. I crop the pictures, I do everything, I write the captions, but I always have wanted to have control over all those little details. And I always did back at Sassy. Like I never wanted anything to be wasted. I wanted every page number to be something interesting, and for the readers or whatever. So anyway, so I do it all myself. What I love is the immediate interaction I get in the comments. That I love it. I live for those, and I will stay in those comments for days and just creating more and more conversation. So I do love all that. It is different because I came from like Exo Jane with something like 15 million, unique views or whatever, to something like Substack, which is like we're at now 10,000, and it's a really different animal in that way. And for me, the newsletter aspect, that's not my thing. Like, I don't know the news, and I don't, you know what I mean? I like the whole package of what I have on the website. When you go to anotherjanepratthing.com and you get this and you get this and you get this, I'm not a big fan of infiltrating someone's inbox with something that they may or may not be interested in, but that's just, whatever. That's my own thing. I'm working with, and
the language around newsletter always messes me up because to me it's a story. You're publishing a story, but Substack calls us, and to me a newsletter would be like another Jane Pratt thing is your newsletter. It's like the all up thing that's happening, but the language on Substack is it is a little bit confusing. But I do love, as soon as I found it, that it has a very magazine like feel to it. You have a look and feel. It's not just the default Substack way.
That's the idea. And I did do a lot of design work with a wonderful collaborator, Ani, who to make it look like unique and not just like everything else that is on it, as much as I could. Yeah. But anyway, I love it. I love the interaction. I love the readers, and just as much as I always have with every publication I've ever done, I love them.
Amazing. Stephanie, did you have another story or comment that you were going to tell?
Oh, well, I was going to say that I grew up in Fayetteville, Arkansas, which is a college town. It's kind of the Berkeley of Arkansas is what, my husband, who's from San Francisco, describes it as that. So like the most positive possible spin for Arkansas, right? Like So it's a progressive college town, is in a red state, right? But my dad is a Southern Baptist preacher, and that my mom was baptized by Jerry Falwell, who is the head of the Moral Majority. And James Dobson, the guy, he eventually got y'all taken down. Yeah, these guys were gods in our house growing up, and I was diagnosed with depression at age 13, and it went untreated because people were like, oh, well, she's depressed, that's why she just doesn't want to do anything. Around that time, by the grace of God, I was in Walden Books and found Sassy, and it was like a little Narnia door, a little portal.
Both of you got it through Walden
Books.
Yes,
yes.
So,
great Walden Books.
Yeah, and I was just like, these are my people. I mean, I've only recently figured out my astrological chart. I have a ton of Aquarius and 12th house placements, and I'm like, okay, this is why I feel like I'm putting on a skin suit every day to interact with, but that's why Sassy, it like just accessed something where I'm like, these are my people, and this is a lifeline for me, and I subscribe, because my mom, if she saw that I bought them, she'd throw them out. And she did it all the way till Jane era, It just sucks. So my husband's like, that fiance at the time, that's so rude. She's like, tampering with your mail, that's illegal. And I'm like, welcome to how the right wing think, But anyway, it was truly like, I'm like, there's another way of thinking out there. These people are hilarious. I look at how y'all dressed, REM, I mean, all of it, just your cute band alert, it happened to me, all your little things. The fact that there was like a little vignette on the spine every month, like I was always like, oh, what's this going to be? The fact that you named the models, like Angelina Jolie was in there, I think, as one of her first modeling jobs. I just remember stuff like that. And like, it was just like a special treasure. And I got to where I knew what day it would arrive in the mail. I'm like, I'm going to get the mail before my mom can get to it today. And I would like hide it like it was Playboy or something, like in between my mattress. But it was truly, it helped me as I was like fully like getting into therapy, setting boundaries with my family, in my 20s after I'm married and getting, like all grown up. Right. But I'm like, I'm going to break this cycle, and I'm going to start an online community because Jane did it. And that's all it took for me. It was like one person to do something to help me see this. Not everyone is the same way. You don't have to think all boring. You can think for yourself. Like you don't have to be threatened by other people's ideas. Let's lean into it. So thank you for saving me.
Thank you.
That's Jane, it's interesting. Dan and I on the show, we talk a lot about how we kind of feel like Gen X, we're the generation that's kind of learning how to go to therapy, and that we have to, everyone's responsible for dealing with their own trauma and not passing it on to the next generation. Yeah. And I'm kind of drawing a connection here that I think maybe Sassy like helped seed that throughout an entire community, like through our entire generation. Yeah. That, you know what, like part of your job is to understand that you've got stuff, you've got shit in your life that you have to deal with. And the way to deal with it is by figuring it out for yourself and making a life that works for you, and not passing that on to your kids,
Yeah, that makes me think of two things. One is that it's incredible to me to think that what I did back then, let me just say that when I went to the printer for the first issue of Sassy to see it coming off and make sure the colors were right and everything, I was there with my art director, Cheryl Collins, and it was in Pennsylvania somewhere. And we were driving back to New York afterward. And I all of a sudden had this realization that what we were doing could affect the next presidential election. We were just at a weird time. And I remember thinking, I could actually affect that through these amazing, girls that I'm writing for. And so that was a thought I had, but I didn't know that it would really happen. And now when I hear about cultural things like what you're talking about child raising, or also people have said that the all of the openness now about perimenopause is probably from Sassy, because I was like, be open about your periods and everything, and now they're all at that age.
Yes.
So it's like that is incredible to think that I had anything to do with like a cultural, just like a shift like that. It's amazing. It's amazing.
You absolutely did. And before we dive into your new stuff, I do have one big question, which is how did you at 23, 24 years old, how did you get this? Like, right? How I read a little bit of the story, Googling and doing some research for the show, but I would love to hear in your own words how you had the audacity of conviction that this would be a thing and that you convinced the people in the room to put it out.
Combination of things. Really good question. First of all, okay, well, I always thought I was lucky. I was born with some lucky numbers, like 7s and 11s, a lot of them in my 11, a lot of them weighed 7 pounds, 11 ounces. Like everything was kind of, so I've always been told and always thought that I was lucky. So I kind of expected things to go that way. But then when I had that really traumatic suicidal time when I was 15, that facing that and surviving that was what made me realize that if I could get through that, I could get through absolutely anything. If I could get past those horrible people who were trying to bring me down every single day, I could go in and meet with the president of whatever company and tell him whatever, because that was nothing compared to how I had felt as a 15-year-old. And so I lost an intimidation factor for dealing with people through that. And so as I said, I was like a brat. I was like, come on, I'm 24, give me a magazine already. Yeah, good idea. What are you waiting for? So there was a company in Australia that was looking to get into the American market and start a teen magazine. They had a teen magazine in Australia. And so I went
Dolly?
Dolly, yes. So I went and met with them and sold them on my ideas, and that's how it started. I went to Australia and worked with them there for a few months. And,
oh my gosh.
So
I can't even fathom at 24. I didn't even have the courage to major in journalism. I picked something so small and
that's so funny. One thing about Dolly, though, I want to say, because you could say that Sassy was just a American counterpart to Dolly, and I think the company would have been happy if I had just done that. But to me, I studied Dolly and I studied the other magazines around at the time, of course. I mean, my whole point was to combat the destructive stuff that 17, YM, and Teen were doing. So that was like the main mission. But I didn't want to just do what Dolly was doing, even though I loved it. I wanted it to be more political. I wanted it to make change. So it really, Sassy was kind of its own thing. And I was pushing for that constantly. I was fighting that, fighting the higher ups constantly.
Yeah.
Absolutely incredible. I mean, truly, at any age, that's incredible. But to do it at such a young age in an era where women weren't really,
oh my God,
especially young women were not.
Young women. When I started as an editor-in-chief, all the editor-in-chiefs, except for one, were older white men. All of them.
Of course they were.
All of them. Of course. That was my entry into the whole thing, was editor-in-chief meant old white man. So I was like, oh my gosh, yeah, that was something.
Liz, I know you had another question or comment, or I think there was something that you wanted to share. And then, Jane, we have a question that we always ask first-time guests on the show that I know Dana is dying to ask you. So Liz,
we'll get to that one at the end.
Everything about this, you just keep it coming. I'm good.
Okay.
I love it.
Liz, did you have another question you want to ask?
It's almost over. I just looked at the time.
It's almost been an hour.
Yeah.
It's almost been an hour.
You've got a big party to go to, so we don't want to keep you too long.
I can hold on to my question and do this again another time too. We still have lots of questions.
All in love. Now we get.
I know. We. I do have. If Liz doesn't have a specific question, I do want to give you an opportunity to say what. I know you've got another Jane Pratt thing that you are growing here on Substack. What? I know there's one thing, I'm not sure if I'm supposed to say it on air, but you did put it on social media. Can I say it?
You can say whatever you want. Yeah.
You're about to write a memoir.
Oh yes, I am. I've already started. Ooh, it's really hard. It's really hard to write. Because there's a lot of stuff that I'm trying my hardest to write, and I am writing about stuff that not only have I never published, but that I've never told anyone before.
Wow.
And
Like about Michael Stipe.
Exactly.
More of that information, please.
What's that?
More information about you.
Yeah, you'll get it. You will definitely get it. So that's that it's hard just to relive some of the stuff, and then it's not all fun and whatever, but it's cathartic to write it too. So I'm really excited. I just hope I get it done in time because it's due in 10 months, and I'm like. But anyway, I'm in the thick of it, and I'm really excited for it. So thank you for asking. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So you've got another Jane Pratt thing. You're writing a memoir. What else do you want to tell the world you've got going on?
Well, I do think, and I want to just say again about these t-shirts, the reason I'm so behind selling these shirts is not for me or Sassy. It's because the revenue from them goes to Planned Parenthood. And
I'm putting it in the chat again. I bet Karen's has beaten me to it. And there, you've got several of your writers. Wait, do we have 2 other Danas in the chat who have written for you before? Dana Von Allman and Dana Walker Inskeep, and soon hopefully Dana Dubois.
Well, I know everybody that does anything for another J. Pratt thing, just same as with Sassy and Jane. Like I know them all intimately. So yes, I feel like those are my friends. Yes.
Wow, there are not usually a lot of Danas ever. It's not that common a name. So I'm looking at the chat right now, and it's like Dana.
I love Danas. I do.
The Danas I've known have all been pretty cool. I think my mom picked a good name. I love that your t-shirts are a fundraiser for Planned Parenthood, and I'm absolutely going to go buy one as soon as we hang up, and you all should as well. Look, Karen and I are like overwriting each other of putting in the links to the t-shirts.
It's all good. Dana, I think you should ask Jane our big question.
Okay, I will. So this is a very hard-hitting question.
Yes.
Brace yourself for it.
Okay.
There are no wrong answers, but we ask every first-time guest on the Daily Whatever Show, what is the most Gen X song of all time?
Oh, shit, I'm so bad at this because, okay, can I just say, I'm so bad at this because Doug Copeland, who, not to name drop, but he's a great friend of mine. I've known him forever.
Oh my gosh.
Of course, whatever, but we grew up together also through all this.
Whatever.
He says that I know it sounds so ridiculous, but
It's great.
He says that I am dead center Generation X. Okay. I know that the definition has changed to where, but I go by what he says, but I know the definition has changed. So what do you think of as Gen X? Do you think of it as younger than me? I think, right? Like you think of it.
We define it as 65 to 80. If you were born between 1965 and 1980, Dana and I are both 1970, so we think of ourselves as dead center Gen X.
Right. Okay. So it did shift a little because I was born at the end of 62, and he says I'm in it. Like I'm pretty, not even just at the very beginning of it. So I think it shifted up to later years a little bit, but I get it. So now I get what you guys are talking about.
Right. Gosh, that's crazy. Because if you Google it, those are the years you get. But right, if Douglas says it's earlier, he kind of gave it the name.
Douglas trumps everything on Gen X subjects.
I'll get his confirmation on, but yes, he definitely does. He explained to me that when it kind of shifted but he sticks by the years that he gave it originally.
When does he say the years are? Because
for one thing, okay, there's something about if you remember. If you're old enough to remember the assassination of JFK, you are still Gen X. So that's much older, right?
Really?
I was 2 when he was assassinated. So I am considered like kind of in the middle of it, if that makes sense. That's one way he does it. But I can't remember all of his reasoning, but anyway.
Right. So his reason is much older. If you could remember JFK, because I think of that as such a boomer milestone where like the explosion of the Challenger is
like, would you guys think, because I'm 63 and I think I would be pegged as a boomer now by the Gen Xers.
You would be Generation Jones, which is the bridge generation between boomer and Gen X. But I do think there is an element of choice in it when you're near the margins, especially of how you identify, because some people are older for their age and some people are younger for their age, and they like you feel very Gen X.
But Jane, the song. What is your song?
So a song that would be what about Gen X? That would be like
the most Gen X song.
Like you're watching a film and it's set in the era.
Oh, geez.
What song is playing in the background? And you could think of your ex-boyfriend, because he's got kind of a couple good ones.
That's all I'm thinking of. So let me think of which one from my ex-boyfriend. I like that. It's great when I like it. Okay, what I'm thinking of. Just give me a second.
Yeah, no pressure.
Waste your time. But I think it's earlier than Man on the Moon to me. To me, it's not Losing My Religion, because that's too big to me. That's one that everybody in the world from all generations knows. More specific. One of my favorites, I will say, that you mentioned before, one of my absolute favorite REM songs is Fall on Me. So for me, if I heard that in a movie, I'd be like, okay, that's that time.
Yeah.
100% Life Search Pageant.
Oh.
All day, every day. Have you gone to see the Michael Shannon cover band?
Of course, I went with Michael Stipe to see Michael Shannon. Yeah, it was.
Of course you did. I went with Liz Riley Tollefson.
What? Oh, yeah.
I remember Liz.
Michael said that. Michael turned to me at one point. We're watching it. We're like dancing to all of it. You know, he loves them, and he said, and even his like husband was there and everything. Whatever. They don't really say husband, but they are married, whatever. He said like, out of everybody there, I was the only person in the whole room who knew him when he wrote all of those songs.
Mm-hmm.
That was really meaningful. Yes, because I was there from day one, from when he first formed that band.
Right.
So it was moving. I was crying. And then he got up and we were just dancing, having so much fun, just as though we were 19 and 21 again. And then he got up and performed a couple songs. And then I was really like waterworks.
Yes.
I would have wept. I actually, in Seattle, I was like, someone's going to show up. Like Eddie Vedder crashes a lot of things. Like someone big is going to show up and jump on stage, but nobody did. It was still a great show. Michael Shannon does a really good Michael Stipe.
I'm glad they're like, anyone from REM is welcome on the stage for that show, but I feel like anyone else, I'm like, get off the stage. I want more like pure REM-ness coming out of Jason and Michael Shannon. You know what I mean? Like, it was just like,
yeah.
I remember we all looked at each other when they started and we were just because I was nervous going into it. Probably, I don't know if you were too. I was like nervous. I was like, what is this going to be like? Can I handle this? What if it's not right? What if it feels off, And it didn't. It felt wonderful. And I was like, I was elated the whole time.
Yay!
We all looked at each other with like a look of like, like, this is happening. It's real.
Jane, are we allowed to ask your all-time favorite REM song?
Oh boy, it's a tough one. But my favorite all-time REM song is Ebo the Letter that he does with Patti Smith. It's very well, people don't play it that often. But I was really happy because that night, the cover band, Michael Shannon's band, did play that in one of their encores. So I just love it. There's a point in it where it goes up and then it becomes completely silent. Like the music just stops for a second. And it's like every time it's like, like better than the top of a roller coaster, like just like, oh my God. And it lifts me up, that song. No matter what I'm going through, it lifts me up. I love it. And and one other thing about that, that you just reminded me of, Liz, like that night being there with Michael when they were performing was, it was just funny because I kept saying to him, like, this is surreal for me. I can only imagine for you. I mean, you're the only person in the world. We kept talking about it afterward too. I was like, you're the only person in the world who is getting to have this experience of having a band cover you.
Right.
You're there, but also when Michael Shannon started that, there were people in our, friends and other people who were like, oh no, that's not good. But I love Michael Stipe for embracing it. and seeing how great it is. And that's so him, to not come down on someone for doing something that, is
Right.
him.
Oh, it was clearly such an act of love for the band. Like Michael Shannon is so clearly a super fan and like loves every minute of what he's doing.
Yeah. I got
that just
Shannon
from the stage.
now too. And Michael Shannon is marrying, I'm just gossiping like crazy,
Yeah.
marrying another friend of ours who is also an ex of, I hope they won't kill me. I don't think they care.
Oh, yeah.
She's also an ex of Michael Stipe's.
Really?
Wow.
I do know that she's a photographer, and he passed her a note that said, "I have a crush on you," like during one of the first dates of the tour, and that's how they got together.
You know more than I do.
Can you corroborate that? What's that?
You know,
Did you know
I
that?
didn't know that detail. I just met him. I know where he proposed and that kind of thing. And I just met him for the first time at that show in Brooklyn. You had asked where the show was. It was in Brooklyn with Michael.
Okay.
Oh my gosh. Wait, Michael Stipe passed the note or Michael Shannon passed the note?
Michael Shannon hand wrote a note to this woman that he liked, to whom he's now engaged, but he's like, "I have a crush on you," and that's how they got together.
I'm glad the story was already out there, so I didn't spill all the beans. That would be like me to do that. But what a great couple they are. Yeah, amazing. Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh.
I love her forever too. So
I love that she's age appropriate. Like that was like major points for Michael to find someone who's my age. Our age.
Was Michael Shannon with younger people before that? Is that why?
I think he was only married. He's
yes, he was
been married, has daughters, I believe. But I'm so jaded, or maybe I'm just realistic enough that like, oh my God, there's an actor my age who's going to find a woman who's also his age. This is unheard of. Yeah, that's where I was coming from.
I totally get it. I love it. I love it too.
Yes.
It's funny to me because I think of Christy. I think of her as a little girl, kind of, because she was younger. She's probably a decade younger than me. So I think of her when she was really young with, whatever, and being in Athens with her and stuff like that. So that's why it took me a second. But I get what you're saying. Yeah.
Oh my God. This is the tea I did not know we were getting.
Right.
And then we need it.
Oh my gosh. I got past an "I have a crush on you" note from a rock star once. I've never publicly said who it was. Liz knows who it is.
I was there.
But I'm feeling the need to spill tea because everybody's spilling tea.
Yeah. Do I know this, Dana?
I don't know if you even know this, but it was Sean Nelson.
Get out.
Yeah. I think he was married too.
It's a guy from Harvey Danger. The song that goes, "I'm not sick, but I'm not well."
Jane and I both missed the name. Say the name again.
Oh, Sean Nelson.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
We'll assume he's not watching. We're all still, I know I was already with the guy I went on to marry, and but yeah, it like read the exact, I wish I still had that note.
Yeah, it said
I have a crush on you or something.
Yeah.
It said "I have a crush on you." Yeah.
Horrible. I've never gotten that note ever.
I only have once.
Jane, and I'm just going to put it out there to the universe that I feel like we're overdue.
Yes.
I would like to request a hot rock star have a crush on me, please.
I don't care who it comes from. I just want someone to hand me a note that says,
Yeah, Jane, we're all handing you notes right now. We all have crushes on you.
I appreciate it.
Not the same, I understand.
Yeah.
But
Jane, this was so much fun. We are so grateful that you would take this much time to hang out with us. Would you please come back and join us again? We would love to have you anytime.
I would love it. I might even do it at an appropriate hour, maybe. Thank you so much for accommodating this.
We'll come back and do it at night. Like I said to Lawrence, it plays to my strengths here on the West Coast.
I love it.
Podcasting at night. Podcasting at night.
I love it. Thanks to everyone in the chat for keeping this so fun and lively. Yes. Please go buy a t-shirt and support Planned Parenthood and wear sassy on your boobs, because who doesn't want sassy across their boobs?
Right.
And if you haven't subscribed to Another Jane Pratt Thing, please go subscribe to Another Jane Pratt Thing.
And tell everyone about it, because
you should be way huger on Substack.
Like, I agree. Yeah. And also all your favorite sassy writers, Jane writers, like they're all there now too. So
right. Hopefully me one day soon.
Oh,
Jane
yeah.
and I have got a little project in the works.
I'm going on the side. Yeah. I need you.
Oh my! Oh, I'm going to be there. There's no doubt.
Amazing.
Liz also has a pretty crazy story about going to New York City and as a college student with no money and camping out to try to sneak into the Saturday Night Live REM appearance and succeeding. You got to write that one out. That would be a very good "It Happened to Me"
I'm
story.
sure I was there. I'm sure I was there. Was that what year?
That was with the Catherine O'Hara where she hosted it. So it was 90, was it 90, 91?
Yeah.
It was, and Kate Pearson came on. And
yes. Because they were, did they do Shiny Happy People?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you were in the video.
Yeah.
Jane was in the video for that. I remember that. You're wearing like a daisy dress.
I love that dress. Couldn't wear it again, but I love it.
By the way, there are lots of comments in the chat. Dana Walker Inskeep says everyone wants sassy boobs, and many people are agreeing. I also am going to get a sassy T-shirt because I want sassy boobs as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
You do. We can wear the matching ones on the show.
Yes. And thank you, Dana Inskeep, for saying that. I appreciate it so much, and it's true.
Yeah.
I know. I think that the triple D threat of Dana needs to write a story together. I don't even know what we would write about.
Yeah,
but
I'll take it.
Yeah, I am never around other Danas. This is making me glow. Jane, we know you have a very special friend you're going to meet tonight.
My other best friend, besides Michael Stipe, and she's also famous, so that's annoying. I'm going to see her tonight.
Amazing.
Oh my gosh.
Well,
I want to move to New York and know famous people. This was so much fun, Jane. And Stephanie and Liz, thank you guys for joining us.
Yay.
I can't hardly do it with my fingers, but I'm going to try.
Yeah, here we go.
Guys,
the cover shot right there.
Thank you all so much. You made this special and
great.
Love you, mean it.
Thanks, everybody. Love you. Bye.
Thank you.